we are going to see the topic on the Agile process in terms of the flavors of Agile, wherein we are going to discuss about the extreme programming in detail. So extreme programming is a combination of several programming practices like pair programming, test-driven development, frequent code review, unit testing, integration testing, simplicity and clarity in code, and so on. So when we tell about what we call it as a pair programming is, here it involves a kind of very friendly technology where two people are going to work on the code and one is going to be the person who is going to involve in writing the code and another person is going to monitor the code. So the person whose hand is going to be on the keyboard, that is the one who is going to type all the codes, he will be the one who is going to be called as a driver, and another one will be the monitor. So the work of the monitor is just to evaluate the code then and there as it is being entered. And this totally reduces the time that is taken for the complete code generation and for testing the codes what have been developed. So this particular process can be interchanged. That is, the driver can be a monitor and the monitor can be a driver. So after writing a few set of codes, the person can exchange the role, and the person who was a monitor can go for entering the code and the person who was a driver can go for monitoring the code. So this involves 12 key practices as it is listed over there, which includes the organization, team, individual. That is, this can be done on three different aspects. And here, when we look out into these three different aspects, the organization involves the planning game, customer test, small releases, wherein the entire project development activity based upon the user stories is considered as a game planning. And we are going to take it to the customer for testing that particular plan, what we have constructed, and then we'll come out with the small releases after this particular plan is being implemented in terms of various stages of project development. So when we tell about a team, here we have a metaphors of events, and we are going to involve into the process of continuous code integration, wherein the codes are being tested and they are being developed by different people, and it is being finally integrated together. And it's going to have a kind of ownership that is in collective, where the developers are going to claim the ownership of each and every bits and pieces of code what they are going to write. As along with that, by default, the clients who had insisted upon developing the code are also going to be the owners of the code. So here we are going to maintain the coding standards. So obviously, as we go for evaluating the codes then and there, we are going to maintain a good coding standards, and that involves a sustainable pace in terms of development. So when it comes to the individual, so the points what we discussed so far are all belongs to the team. When it comes to an individual, this involves the process of simple design, wherein an individual, when he is going to come out with the architecture representation of a given system, it is going to be a simple formed design or simple format of the design. And this is going to be totally based upon the test-driven development, wherein development is testing is going to be done frequently or then and there as we are going for writing the code. And this involves a refactoring and pair programming. Refactoring is involved in the process of, without changing the actual outer structure of the code, we are going to work out with the internal structure without undergoing major changes in the outer structure of the code. So that particular technology is adapted over here, followed by the pair programming practices, what we learned previously. So when it comes to the next topic, that is on the flavors of Agile with respect to the future-driven development. So as the name itself implies that we are going to identify the futures, the salient futures of a project, what they are expected to possess. And based upon that, we are just going to deploy the concept of iterative and incremental lightweight software development process. So what exactly is this iterative and incremental software development, lightweight software development process is all about is the outcome of one particular phase is going to be the input of another phase. And this involves the kind of incremental approach where as we move towards the climb towards up in the ladder, we can expect certain amount of completions related to the project as and when it can happen, as well as the outcome of the product can be expected at the earliest phase. So iterative and incremental lightweight software development process is being followed over here. And the five key activities involved over here are develop an overall model, build a futures list, plan by future, and design by future, and build by future. As it has been told over there, everything is going to rotate around the futures, what we are going to identify well in advance related to the project or the product that we have to develop. So when we are going for developing an overall model, as we know very well, the kind of role does a model is going to play in terms of software development. We are going to go for using the UML model diagrams, and we are going to come out with a sample form of the system, what is going to be developed in the future at the earliest phase. So the same set of models are going to be utilized in this purpose also. So that we call it as an initial modeling. And as a result of developing initial model, we are going to come out with building a futures list. So while we are going for generating the models, we will come to know that what are all the essential features the system is capable of processing. And we are going to come out with a list of these features which are being created or authored, and keeping this features, we are going to construct a plan. So the plan is going to be a developmental plan, and this involves the owners and the future set owners. Everyone are involved into the process of this plan while they are going for developing this plan. And then we are going for designing the future. So while we tell about that designing of the future means it's a package. At least certain set of models, what I identified, what we identified, and what we are going to take it further upon are going to be modeled, and they are going to be made it as a package. So this package involves the set of things which are identical, and we need to group them based upon their identicality. And then we are going for building the product based upon the futures. So this building the product is going to bring me the outcome as a complete client valued function. So what we call it as a client valued function is the client is going to give me the complete outlook of this entire output, what I'm going to generate, and he is going to evaluate it, and he is going to give me a go for that. Once he give the go, we can state it that this is going to be the final end product what we are looking out for. So how does the future driven development is different from all the other forms of development practices is this future driven development is based upon the characteristic features are essential characteristic features what a particular product must possess. And then we got the crystal, which is of not of much usage right now. So we are skipping is, and the most important thing is nothing but the Kanban technology, wherein we are going to have something called as a Kanban board. And this is a lean method practice, and it is going to help the developers in terms of managing and improving the work across human systems. So in majority of the project development activities, as we look out into the kind of communication